Ready or Not's replay value does not come from changing what the game gives you, but from changing what you are capable of. Upon finishing a mission, you see the screen, but more often than not, it doesn't quite feel right. Something is missing. Some kind of reassurance that you earned the score. You see, the game does not really care who did what or how it was done. The score is more of a rating than a requirement. The problem is that a bad rating won't hinder you from proceeding.
To say that this mission was a goat fuck is an understatement. The situation is under control by some miracle. Roll in for debrief.
The screen cannot tell if you controlled the situation or just survived it. That won't matter to the game, but it will to you. If you cannot be sure that your actions produce the outcome, how can you know that the result was yours? Only one way to find out. Replay it. Ready or Not throws you into uncertainty over and over until you learn how to handle it, making the result truly yours. After choosing a mission, you get a briefing with every minute detail. Weapons, attachments, gear and protection. Already unlocked. You decide what you and your team bring on the mission. The game emphasizes planning, but tell me, how often did you plan for a lethal obsession? How about greased palms? Neon Tomb. I cannot recall how often I planned for these missions and failed within the first seconds. I overlooked obvious traps, got stuck in a doorway because I didn't command my team well enough, didn't check my corners, and got mowed down. In short, I fumbled. My plans crumbled. Failure after failure. I had the right tools, the right information about traps and enemies. The mission seemed so predictable. Yet the game refused certainty. And when I finally did manage to complete it, I began to wonder, was it competence or luck? Again, only one way to find out. Repeat it. This raises the question, why even care? If you pulled off something incredibly lucky in a multiplayer game, you would be proud. You would laugh at the enemy and defend the idea that it was all you. But you cannot measure luck. You cannot explain luck, and you cannot reproduce it. Luck leaves you with no answers. This is where Ready or Not's beauty lies. Every failed raid leaves behind an answer. An unchecked corner. A missed trap. A misread reaction. And this sends you spiraling into an endless loop of replaying, in the everlasting search for competence. When a game gives you everything you need right from the start, the only thing left to improve is you. So improvement here does not mean unlocking new weapons. It means knowing what equipment would benefit you most in this particular situation. Whether it's worth the bother to learn the command menu. Placing your squad can and will push you forward safer, yes. But how often will you rearrange them until it becomes cumbersome? Just leaving them there will expose both you and them to multiple angles, which can end your run in an instant. What about the already cleared rooms? How are you gonna make sure no suspect runs back into them? I could go on for quite some time. Fact is, Ready or Not demands improving yourself. And every run will confirm this. After a while, I became accustomed to the game's ruthlessness. No more standing in front of doors like a clueless dick. The game started to change the way I move, the way I think. I started to shift my position to the side, reducing the angles I had to cover. Had my team cover me whenever an action left me defenseless, like using the mirror gun. When they were occupied, I learned to look for wires through the crack in the door instead. It was incomplete information, but it stopped me from spontaneously combusting. Firefights became easier to tell apart after kitting my team out with suppressors. No more guessing who fired the last shot. None of this told me what else was waiting for me, but I no longer had to rely on chance alone. I was slowly discovering my options. And once you realize how many you ignored on your first run, replaying a mission stops feeling like repeating it. You start wondering what else you missed, so you go back. But no matter how good you become, the game refuses certainty. This poses two problems that seem to contradict each other. The game cannot be predictable, but it has to feel that way. I can't even imagine how hard it was for the designers to strike a balance here. How did they manage it? Not by design, but from the deliberate lack of it. Chaos. Not to say that this game has no design. Quite the opposite. It is the design that forced me to spend hour after hour frustrated, delighted, questioning every step, every door, every shot. You know how in other games a mission has a beginning, middle and an end? Something sets it up. It escalates. You pull through and feel satisfied and relieved. Ready or Not does not stretch this arc across its entire mission. It repeats it from door to door. Every entry point is the beginning that sets up the action. You scout the room, give the command and breach it. Escalation. You clear the room, control the situation and get a short briefer. Satisfaction. That is the process of every map. Except for that one time when a suspect played dead. Oh, and the other time you didn't pay attention and someone pulled a knife on you. What about the last mission, where a suspect randomly walked into a room and started firing? The number of times I let my guard down because I thought that I predicted the outcome is embarrassing. Through its repeating pattern, it really makes you feel like you got the hang of it, until its unscripted nature gets your ass. The reason for it? Utility AI for the NPCs, which makes suspects and civilians more dynamic. The NPCs still have a limited set of authored actions. What changes is how they pick between them. Instead of following a single script, the game scores those actions against the current situation, chooses one, then performs it. So it always gives you recognizable patterns, but never tells you which pattern gets chosen. Recognizing those patterns is one thing. Recognizing them before the clock runs out is another. Elephant and Relapse. Put bombs on a timer. In Hunger Strike, suspects hunt down civilians while you still try to find the entrance. Without that pressure, you could rely somewhat on patience. Time takes that from you. I really hope you figured things out by then. If you still have to remember every step, well, let's not go there. I genuinely think it is the game's grim yet realistic scenarios that give all of this weight. Void Interactive did not shy away from disturbing you. Being good at Ready or Not does not mean I understand the real thing, and it doesn't have to. It only has to make the cost of a bad decision feel close enough that I cannot dismiss it as a number. The game may let me proceed. I won't. So I go back. I fail, learn, experiment, and repeat. The challenges it provided became my obligation. The missions and the officers, my responsibility. Ready or Not is a tactician's game. It puts you in the role of the leader and leaves you with all the responsibilities and consequences. A suspect got killed instead of arrested. A civilian got shot? An officer resigned? Sure, no problem. But remember, you got the suspect killed. You couldn't save the civilian. You were the reason the officer left. And this is where the game gets me. Talks disappointment torments me.
We have rules outlined for a reason. Act within them.
I cannot for the life of me let the game beat me. I cannot end the mission with dead officers. I cannot accept innocent casualties. Placing the player in the leader position and throwing him into lifelike scenarios is deadly for the ego, and it will test you relentlessly. This relentless gauntlet harbors the best rewards though. Once staying alive no longer demanded every bit of my attention, the game started to open up. I could experiment with new entrances, bring equipment I used to ignore, split my team without immediately losing track of them, and absorb all the horror from the rich details and lore in this game. The maps had not changed, but I could finally see them how Void intended. Every answer revealed another option. Every option, another approach. And every approach gave me yet another reason to go back. Competence did not make the missions smaller, it made them larger. So, after countless plans, failures and retries, there will be a moment when you sit in front of the mission end screen again. A rank, the objectives, your score, success. But this time, it will feel earned. Because there are things this screen can show you. Things that cannot be measured by a score or replaced with cosmetics or new guns. This time, you will be satisfied and proceed to the next mission. Whether you are ready or not is yours to answer. Only one way to find out. And as always, thank you for your time.